I know that winning is always important, and a top two finish in a home semi-final, quarter-final and semi-final is also important. What else do you hope to get out of this game?
Improvement. We thought a lot of the facets in the game last week were pretty good. But yeah, keeping that in mind, we're playing to win the competition. So there's a lot of things that we still want to get better. Thought our scrum was good, but technically Brock still challenges the boys to improve. Line out the more. We felt we could have done a little bit better in terms of conversion rate. So there's still a couple of things that we really want to improve. Like I always challenge the players, regardless of who we play, can we get better?
Yeah, the run into the last to the playoffs is quite an interesting one. I mean, some teams seem to have an easier go. You guys got some big names, but you're playing some of them here. How many games do you think? I know 2 games will get you into the playoffs. 2 wins get you in the playoffs. But how many games do you think is going to need it, or wins is going to be needed to get into that top 4?
Yeah, I mean, from our point of view, every single game we want to challenge for victory. So that's where our mindset is now. We're not looking at certain games and thinking, go easy on that. We want to challenge ourselves every single time. So if that answers your question, we want to go for every game.
Yeah. And Ruhan, from my side, the team itself is obviously in good spirits. I mean, a win over the Bulls will keep you going for a couple of rounds. But what is the biggest danger from a captaincy point of view and from a player point of view, heading into a game against a team like the Dragons that people say you should beat easily?
Yeah, I think 2 things. I think probably complacency. I think you can easily fall into the trap of looking at that Bulls side and telling yourself, if you get over the Bulls hurdle, you should be able to take a Dragons team that's 12, 13 on the log. We got to the Edinburgh, I think it's also bottom 8. So I think you can easily fall into that trap, become very comfortable and please yourself, and then once those micro details start lacking, it's just a snowball effect. The bigger things are going. So. Probably just like that lack of urgency that goes away. I thought our desperation against the Bulls was like it was in the beginning of the season. You could see the guys are really hungry to get the result. And once you actually start drifting away from those things that makes you good, before you know it, you've actually missed the mark quite a bit. And that's probably the thing about a drift. It's subtle, and before you see it, you've actually wandered quite a bit off the mark there. So I must say, I think this week we've actually put the Bulls behind us pretty quickly. We understood the fact that those derbies, obviously the only thing you can take out of that is a win. There's so much emotion that goes into that game, so we parked that pretty quickly. Obviously did us great favours for the spirit of the broader squad, but I suppose probably not to get complacent going forward again. Yeah.
Last one from me, the Dragons, and we've touched on the fact that people tend to write them off, but what is their biggest threat in terms of the game itself?
Look, they're probably the strongest defensive side since the new calendar year. They got some heavy, big ball runners. Big guys love to tackle. Tinus de Beer, he's playing in South Africa. He's got a very smart, educated boot on him. They like to have a crack at ball in hand as well. So where I felt probably against the Bulls, our transitions was maybe a little bit slow. To probably force those 2 or 3 rucks post the kick or post the contestable. It's like Coach Rito said, he's identifying the forwards where they can work on. I'm obviously looking at it from a defensive point of view. We'll probably have to be sharper in that, because a very smart 10 and a very smart 50 can actually exploit that space when you're a little bit slow in those transition plays. So all their losses was marginal losses. So it's not like it's a 50-0 score. Like they really, really contest. They're in the game until late. So like Coach Reed said, I don't think we can place that, and we pretty much we fully aware of the threat that's coming.
Thank you very much.